Shukri takes part in the UN Security Council inquiry over Middle East peace process. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met with the Minister of Justice, Councillor Omar Marwan, on Tuesday. The presidential spokesman, Ahmed Fahmy, said the meeting tackled means of developing the legislative system across governorates, developing courts, premises, and providing high-end technologies. President al-Sisi was also briefed on the latest developments on the Adala, or Justice City, in the new administrative capital, as well as measures taken to facilitate court steps through digitalization. In this respect, President al-Sisi gave directives for a swift conclusion of the city in accordance to the scheduled deadlines. Developing the real estate registration system was also on the agenda of the meeting, in addition to various state public services. Hamas fighters and Israelis appear to be abiding by a truce for a fifth morning on Tuesday, after a 4-day ceasefire was extended at the last minute for at least 2 days to let more hostages go free. 3 U.S. military aid flights bringing in aid to Gaza started arriving in Egypt on Tuesday, and Washington has said it is trying to push as much aid in as possible during the truce. Story. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres described on Tuesday an extended truce between Hamas and Israelis as a glimpse of hope and humanity, but warned that it was not enough time to meet aid needs of the Gaza Strip. Mediators said the initial 4-day truce was extended by 2 days, continuing a pause in 7 weeks of warfare that has killed thousands and laid waste to the Palestinian enclave. A U.S. official said Washington would like to see the humanitarian pause extended as long as possible. The official said the first of 3 relief aid flights conducted by the U.S. military would land in northern Sinai on Tuesday, carrying badly needed supplies for Gaza, with 2 more planned in the coming days. The flights would bring medical items, food aid, and winter items that would be delivered by the United Nations. Aid deliveries to Gaza are currently running at about 240 truckloads a day, but this was nowhere near the enough needed to meet the needs of their people there. Both sides reported some Israeli tank fire in the Sheikh Radwan district of Gaza City, but there were immediate reports of casualties. During the truce, Hamas fighters released 50 Israeli women and children from among 240 hostages they captured in the Israeli-occupied territories during a deadly rampage on October 7th. In return, the Israelis released 150 detainees from its jails, all women and teenagers. Hamas also separately released 19 foreign hostages, mainly Thai farm workers, under separate deals parallel to the truce agreement. The Israelis have said the truce would extend indefinitely as long as Hamas continues to release at least 10 hostages per day. Ahead of the release of the Palestinian detainees, Israeli occupation troops attacked their relatives who were massing around the Ofra prison awaiting their release. Israeli occupation police forces also broke into homes of the detainees, homes in Sheikh Jarrah and El Tor and Al Isawiya cities. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri heads to New York on Tuesday as part of an Arab Islamic committee to take part in the UN Security Council inquiry session over developments in the Middle East. The session is designed to review the Arab and Islamic stance, calling for a stop to the Israeli escalation, a comprehensive ceasefire, an end to Israeli abuses, and allowing aid into Gaza sustainably. The session is also to discuss activating the Middle East peace process and the re-establishment of an independent Palestinian state. U.S. President Joe Biden has warned Israel that its expected offensive in the southern Gaza must avoid the kind of mass displacement of civilians seen during the military's pummeling of the Palestinian territories in the north. A U.S. official said the Israeli campaign had to be conducted in a way that was maximally deconflicted to avoid humanitarian sites to hospitals, other facilities, including the many UN-supported shelters in southern Gaza. Israel has said it will continue its war on Hamas after an ongoing temporary truce expires. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will his third wartime visit to the Middle East this week. An estimated 1.7 million people in Gaza have been displaced by the offensive Israel launched on October 7th. Israel's retaliatory ground and air operations in the Gaza Strip has killed almost 15,000 people, mostly civilians. 2 Palestinians were shot dead by Israeli occupation troops in the town of Beitunia and Kafr al-Ain to the west of Ramallah.